Yo, what up with it, everybody, man? Back at it with the Chevy Cruise 3-day deal, man. So, we got the Pistons in, all right? And it's about to go down. You guys ready? Let's get it. All right, man. So, yeah, we got the Pistons in. Shouts out to AutoZone for shipping the Piston parts. Um, B&J Pistons that fit the 1.4 L4 motor. We was having a slight hiccup on clearance issues with the piston sliding inside the bore of the engine block. So it was like way too many thousands over or undersized from the last pistons. And we got the right ones from AutoZone because they can ship it here to your house. So if you're looking for a cheaper price, go on AutoZone, man. Shouts out to them guys. We actually getting them here and then get these pistons, be able to get them put in. So, but other than that, you guys got to excuse my microphone. But other than that, man, yeah. So what we did was I just went and checked out the piston bore for the piston itself. So if you guys see it right there, yeah, that's how it looks all the way around. Nice skirting. These are aftermarket. These are not the original pistons that you would get from the Chevy dealership or any GM dealership that they provide for that motor. But you can get the aftermarket ones, same size diameter, same size and spec, okay? But these are aftermarket piston, and you can tell by the chromatic tops that coating or that skirt, or actually just the coating on top of the piston is different. It makes it much lighter for a high rev vehicle, especially with these four cylinders. These things rev very high. But other than that, yeah, like this is a good. I'm gonna say it's good. It's not forged. It's aluminum, so you know it will, but it will hold. Like, don't get me wrong, it will hold. It would do the job. But me, if it was me and it was my vehicle, yeah, I probably would be going forged. But other than that, yeah, like these pistons here is gonna fit. I'm gonna take you guys over to the car so I can show you what I was talking about with the bore spec of the piston itself. Let me get you guys over there, all right? All right, man, so we over here with the engine block right now. I'm gonna show you how this piston fits in that clearance as it's supposed to be, all right? So see if I can get you guys to, yeah. I want to see if I can get you guys perfectly setting here. You guys got to excuse me because I'm actually trying to tighten up my tripod. But yeah, let's see. All right, much better, right? All right. So what we're trying to do is what? Make sure that this piston fits in that bore just as smooth, right? So we're gonna make sure that, watch. So it fits in just as nice and smooth, right? We can do it for all four cylinders, all right? The last pistons that we had, you guys, I'm telling you, stop ordering your pistons off of Amazon because you're gonna have a bore spec or a piston wall clearance problem. You'll have a bunch of blow-by in your cylinders. You don't want that. You want this piston to be able to fit in here and have minimum, not very, very minimum of space, okay? So if you guys just seen that, this piston here fits that cylinder. So let's go back over to the desk, install that piston, or get the connecting rod on, and then get the retaining clips for the pin, the connecting rod pin itself put in. All right, so let's get over there and do that right now. All right, you guys, so we're back over here at the desk here, And we about to install this piston, the connector rod and piston. So how you do the orientation for this piston to be correct on this, on the connecting rod to be right for this piston. All right, so if you look at the arrow, right, you can turn it this way or this way. But if you turn it this way, like you're facing the block of the engine, right, that arrow needs to be facing the front of the engine. Okay, now we got that part right because it gives that away. Back in the day, it didn't have no marking. It used to have like a little dimple or like a little cutout right there for the old Chevys and, you know, 3.5s. Yeah, 3.4. No, was it? Yeah, 3.2s or the 3.4 Chevy engines, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, for the V6s and V8s, they only had like a little dimple dot on the piston, and that's how you know which way the orientation of this piston was supposed to go. But now, bam, they got an arrow that points to the front of the block. Okay, that arrow needs to be facing to the front of the block. Now for the connecting rod, haha, this is the tricky part. Okay, all right, so you guys always notice, I always tell you, make sure that you got the orientation right on the connecting rod. So on this connecting, because it's just a 4-cylinder, if you look at the shaft of it, or the I want to say the the shank of the connecting rod right here, well, that needs to be facing to the back of the engine, and on the small side will need to be facing to the front of the engine. So this way, when you put it on the piston, it will go in just in that order. Okay, and it's not hard to find out which way is the front or the back of the connecting rod. Now, some of them look the same, you guys, but if you look at it very well, you have a big side of the piston, the shank of the connecting rod, and then you got a small, thinner side of the connecting rod. And this is the side that needs to go to the front, because on the piston, it's weighted balance for this connecting rod. So let me stick one in, and then that way you can see how it goes. I'm gonna grab my retainer clips here, and shouts out for D&J for sending out the correct parts for this, because man, it was, you know, it's not a headache, you guys, but if you do it right, you can get it done in the very first shot. But yeah, man, so that's install one of these retainer clips, and if you guys seeing it, I'm doing a retainer clip right now, and I think I got this on the video earlier, but that GoPro, the GoPro videos, you guys, I'm gonna put that one up a little bit later, but I'm just gonna show you how to install this one, because this was a long time coming, how to take this car apart and then get it to work right. So give me like 1 second, guys. But I hope everybody's doing good out there. Like I said, man, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. It's free. It costs you nothing. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell, so this way you guys don't miss any part of these videos or any upcoming videos that I will post. It helps the, you know, the YouTube algorithm go a long way, you guys. So so what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to slide this retainer clip or pin up into the bore of the of the piston, because in here, and if you can see it, that little slot right there is where the retainer clip goes in for the waste pin. Now, it may seem like it's going to be hard, you guys, but it's not. If you got the right tools, or you know what you're doing with it, you know, it's very easy. But let's try to get this guy here in here. And now a lot of people try to use it on a screwdriver. I will usually use a screwdriver as well, but knowing that it's just a little easier with the, I want to say, with a pen or with a pick here, and you guys can do that too. And if you look at the pen itself, you got one side in and the other side out. So this one is in and this side is out. So yep. But yeah, let me get this one in, and then we're gonna show you how to do this one with the pin in. So we're gonna slide the pin in. So we're gonna slide the pin in, and show you how that goes in there. So we got it out the plastic, nice and clean. So like I said, doesn't do too much, but all right. So we got the pin in slightly, you guys, and if you can see that, it's slightly in there. All right. So I got the pin orientated with the retainer clip. So what I'm gonna do is push the pin in, right? And you guys just gonna see my finger just keep driving that in there, and I'm wiggling the back end of this connecting rod to make that pin go in. If you've seen it, if you just seen that, my finger literally slid the whole pin in. All right. So to drive the rest of the pin through, you can do it both ways. You can take and I was doing this with a connecting, not a connecting rod, but with the something like this, or you can use an extension and just push it through and make sure it seats all the way to the back of this pin here. All right, so it doesn't push through. So it's seated all the way through, you guys. So, you know, that's how that goes, all right? But the orientation of it is correct, all right? So, now to stick in the other half of this pin. Now, this is where it gets a little bit more trickier, you guys, but hey, you guys can do this with your eyes closed. If you know, like I said, if a lot of you guys already know how to do this already, and a lot of you DIY guys that's already at home doing these builds, I just found that it was just easier just to kind of, you know, push down on this damn thing, because usually what happens is you can be in there, and then as you're trying to, you know, get that retaining clip to sit in there, you're gonna have to push it in with something else, right? So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna use the pick here. All right. Well, can't use that part, but and this is the way I did it, because it worked out great. How you can do this is this is another way I kind of seen it how it went in here, but I thought it would like kind of damage the retaining clip. but you can slide it in these two little hole crevices right here. Them two, if you guys can see that. So those two crevice holes, you can slide the pin that way through it. So I'm gonna do it like that again. I'm gonna see if it's gonna work, which I know it will, but you know, after a while, just trying to get these things to go in here is a pain, you guys. So if you got some patience, be patient with it because it will work. All right, so you get one side in, you can be able to get the other. All right, so as you guys can see that pin is not all the way in. All right, but I'm gonna show you how to get the rest of it in right now. So I need a flathead screwdriver or some kind of. So I'm gonna use a flathead screwdriver for this because you guys can do it that way too. So you really want to work your way around it or work your way in on it. And you just, you know, just be careful. Don't try to stab yourself doing it. All right. Because I know how it is when it comes down to these things. All right. So I got one side in. All right. So there you go. So you guys can do it just that way, and you can get that pin locked in just as well as the other side. So that's how you do it. And remember, that orientation